Oh, it's me again. How's it going? Welcome. This is SCP-CRNP, aka Lack of Lepers, and thank you for joining us again. Again and again and again. We're going to do this until we get it right. So, what we're trying to do here is do Harmony some justice, okay? That's what we're trying to do. Harmony was featured in a video insert segment on Weekend Collapsible this week on Friday night while we reviewed the 7,000 contest entries. And unfortunately, due to an error on my part that I repeated just like 30 minutes ago when I tried to do this for the first time today, her audio was unable to be heard. So I wanted to kind of give a moment and a spotlight to this video so that we can go back and fill in that missing audio with this. So without any further ado, let's give Harmony the stage.
Broadcast is being transmitted from my secure
I'll start it over.
This broadcast is being transmitted from my secure underground bunker beneath the sea level in South Florida. I'm coming to tell you about the deluge of 7,000 entries that have washed over our shores, completely flooding downtown Miami and putting word salad in everybody's soup bowls. Let's check them out. So we're going to be doing them lightning round style today because I have stuff to do later, so I want to get you the best information as quickly as possible because I respect your time. There's nothing to check out here, so let's fix that. I've altered the names of your categories a little bit. Just thought that I could come up with some different funny names. We've got here Global Scale World Enders, Haha, No J, Try Hard Funny, The Anomaly is Luck, TM, Nose Exhale, and Smapty Zoo for Talking Animals. Unfortunately, Smapty Zoos for Talking Animals is empty, so I think that they've all been downvoted into oblivion. Or I just didn't see any in my block. There's probably some more. There's so many entries. There's so many! Oh my god. Ugh. Okay, so let's start with the ones closest to me. Mr. Rogers in a bloodstained sweater. I was a little disappointed because I expected to like this one more than it was, but while the idea was interesting, the way that it's a gimmick article that's just way too impressed with itself to actually be anything interesting. Like, it says that it's an SCP where it's a woman who heats up really, really hot whenever Mr. Rogers is talked about, but that doesn't really... Then it just is like, whoa, you heat up when we talk about Mr. Rogers? How wacky and interesting and unusual is that? But I feel like that's pretty milquetoast fair for the SCP Foundation. It feels almost blown out of proportion and not well fit for the contest. It feels shoehorned in. And overall, I was extremely disappointed that it's not worthy of the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny title reference. Jog on. Next one was Losing Interest. And this one, I just felt it was underdeveloped. It had some interesting ideas going for it. Honestly, the main thing that killed Losing Interest for me was that the images in it are pretty bad. They just look like someone figured out that Photoshop has the twirl effect and was using it for their own amusement, but didn't really do nothing for me. I thought the pictures looked really bad, and they took me out of the article and the experience. You know, anytime that I remember I'm reading an SCP, while I'm reading an SCP, I'm not enjoying myself. I want to be immersed in the world, not laugh at how you can flippantly show how arbitrarily you can make the Foundation seem unreal and stupid. Misfortune Gorge is basically got all the same problems as the one before it, that I can't really take it seriously. The dialogue was really cheesy and poorly written. It didn't feel like anything an actual person would ever say. It felt like it was all contrived to push the plot along and not to have interesting characters. Everybody was one-dimensional. VK is a boring group of interest. And also all the images, again, pretty terrible image work, I gotta say. You guys, Photoshop's not that hard. Just do two takes. Do two takes. Make one your practice run, figure out what works and what doesn't, and then make another one once you know what you're doing a little bit better, because it looks like it's amateur hour over here for these images, and frankly, I find it to be pretty far fall from where the SCP Wiki has been image-wise in the past, even with after we've done the licensing work to remove the uncovered image. There was a time period where there was a lot of effort put into some images, and I feel like we're seeing some pretty slapdash efforts here that are quite disappointing to see. Just the weak image work when SCP has historically been so strong in its visual department, even if they've had to kneecap themselves by taking down things like the SCP-173 image and the SCP-106 image for their own reasons, of course.
Amen.
Although 048, they managed to replace that with a pretty kick-ass image, but that was only because the Volgan bailed them out. The anomaly is luck. This category, I completely filled it up. I was worried that I got just enough space. You can see I made them smaller as I went on. I was going to have to erase some space in here and add it to this category just so it would fit. First up, it's the carnival game. It's a thing that makes you go crazy. Alcoholics Anomalous. It's a guy who has to be drunk to suppress his anomaly. It's pretty sad, and it's an interesting idea, but the article is poorly written. Almost every paragraph starts with the item designation. It's stilted. It doesn't have good flow in the terms of its sentence structure, just the nuts and bolts of it. It's an interesting idea that's clumsily executed and clumsily written. Bets Against the Void. Isn't quantum consciousness an interesting idea? A series of misfortunate events. It affects probability. Or she does. She affects probability. Out of luck. It's coin flip odds. It could have been alternate universe foundation leaks into our own. How unlikely is that? By his hand. This sucks.
So, I think is a pretty valid critique for any article that decides to make the conceptual miscarriage of just being luck. So, fair enough.
Jesus Christ Superstar returns for his most thrilling action comeback yet. Watch out, sinners. He's hunting for you. It's Jesus H. Christ putting a spear through a mugger's chest. Don't miss it. This summer only in theaters. Coming soon. Near you. Oh, and I didn't know where to...
That was for a deleted one, but I love that coverage.
An old artifact, so it's gonna live. Let's put it real quick. It doesn't actually belong in SMAP-D Zoo for the talking animals, but it's gonna get the same 2-second review treatment that all of the Anomaly is Luck articles got. This one is a mirror that's coy about actually telling you what its effect does the SCP. Apparently, I put it up there in the World Enders already, so I just didn't see it. So we're gonna pretend I didn't. We're gonna pretend that never.
Sorry,
didn't
SMAP-D.
exist. Never happened.
Thought you had a hit.
All right, so old artifacts done. Insane Wailing Feral. This one fucking rules. Go read it. Just look at the picture. Talk about a good picture. See? This one kicks ass. Go read it. I'm not even gonna tell you what it does. Go read it. It kicks ass. It's fucking creepy. I love it. Here we go. I forgot to put this one up there, but let's put it now. The Last World Ender. Underdeveloped. And you can tell that it was not really proofread because there is a typo at the beginning of the first addenda where there's an unnecessary pluralizing comma for instances, which is just, you can be better than that. So that's all the 7,000 entries that I have read so far that I also was asked to talk about today. It's not I've read a few more than this, but there's just so goddamn many. I'm probably never going to, at least not for a while, read them all personally. Thank God we've got this show. We're a blessing, aren't we?
All right. So thank you, Harmony. Appreciate that. Definitely wanted to give you the credit and the spotlight that she deserved in doing that work. So, yeah, there's the missing audio from the stream from Friday. So if you wanted to get caught up with that. All right. So we tried to do SCP meta config colon today. It didn't work. The computer crashed. So we're going to try to do that next week. So next Sunday, a week from today, we'll try to catch back up with SCP Meta's Config Colon, and we will be back on Tuesday doing our reaction series again. I have something exciting for that I'm looking forward to that has to do with the 7K. It's the 12-hour stream that Billith and D. Sherm did. We'll fast forward, obviously, a lot of it. But and then Friday, we'll cover the rest of the 7,000 contest entries, along with any other SCPs that have been slipping through the cracks recently. So I hope you'll join us for that. Thank you again for checking us out on Friday, and hope to see you again soon. This has been SCP-CRNP, a.k.a. Lack of Lepers, and have a great day. Thank you so much, and thank you once again to Harmony. Appreciate it.